Have you ever wondered how many people it takes to make the items we use in our everyday lives? Now, I'm heading to Forest Grove, Oregon to find out just how many people it takes to make a 9mm gun. Looking for the Calico Gun Factory. Now, this place looks way too peaceful to have a gun factory. But at the Calico Gun Factory, you can forget the 6-shooter. They build a 100-shooter. This is not where I would expect a gun factory to be. But indeed, this is where the pistol is made. Let's go check it out. Hey, whoa, hey, I come in peace. You Chris?
Yep.
Hi.
How you doing?
Good, good. So this is Calico Firearms?
Yep, sure is.
Who's our friend here?
This is the shop dog, Jacko.
Nice. Nice. Now this 9mm pistol is this is serious business. This is a 100-bullet magazine, right?
Correct. No other company does that.
Right. Yeah. A pistol generally is not doesn't have that many bullets.
10, 15.
So you deal with SWAT teams and police,
13,
military.
police. Yep.
So we wanted to check out the 9mm pistol and find out how many people it takes to put it together.
Right.
So who's number one?
Well, that would be my wife, and she's back there.
Great.
She's number one.
Now I'd like to include Jack the dog, but this is how many people, so I can't. My hands are tied.
This is her. This is Heather. This
Heather's
is
number
Dave.
one.
Hi.
Hey, I'm Dave. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good to meet you. So tell me about what you do here.
I pull the parts for the guys in the shop. This is the
first
first piece, and this is the base of what the gun is built off of.
The gun receiver is one of a select few pieces that Heather orders from outside vendors. All of your guns start here.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, and then what happens from here?
We're gonna walk over to Steve.
Steve.
Yes.
This gun receiver works as the spine for the Calico pistol. But before it can shoot even a single shot, it needs a handle, a trigger, and a one-of-a-kind 100-round magazine. So here we are at Steve. You're person number 2.
I am.
So you take this piece and what happens?
Well, how about if we just run one here, and you can see what we're doing. This is forming the hole that the sight assembly will be installed into.
I see. That's got to be very precise.
Exactly.
So this guy comes off of here, and then what happens?
From here, let's take it over to the lathe.
So what happens here?
We're going to bore out the rough casting.
So we're just basically drilling a hole that the barrel's going to go in.
Exactly. Fire up the coolant.
Okay.
Turn off our coolant. Turn our machine off. Now what we're going to do is take this over to Chris. He needs to clean up all the rough edges and get them ready for painting.
Okay, person number 3 is our owner, Chris. Hey, Chris.
Yeah.
I understand you're not just our owner, but you're number 3.
I'm number 3.
Chris puts a lot of himself into his 9mm pistol.
I'm trying to make it as smooth as possible. Nobody needs a firearm snagging up on their uniforms or something internally that's not working right.
As number 3, he does at least 3 different things.
At this point, it's technically a firearm.
Really?
And we need to put a serial number on it.
Even before a trigger or a sight or a barrel gets put on it, it's a firearm.
Correct.
It's trackable from this point forward.
From the ATF standpoint.
Gotcha.
And that would be alcohol, tobacco, and firearm.
Right, right. Let's stamp her.
Every time I pull this handle down, it changes the serial number.
There we are. Old IOO2431. So what happens now?
This goes to sandblast, and that's over that way.
Chris then grabs a gun barrel and takes the receiver and the barrel to sandblasting, then puts them in a phosphate bath for protection against rust before painting.
This goes next to Steve.
Back to
And
Steve.
then-
Steve's got a lot of jobs here.
Yes, he does.
We're working him hard.
I know.
Hello, Steve. We're back.
Hello, Dave.
Hi. How are you? We have a barrel for you. What do you do with this thing now?
Well, what we're going to do is we assemble the barrel to the receiver in one step.
How do you do that?
So I'm going to put my receiver onto the fixture here.
And with that, our barrel is in place. Yeah?
This is pretty close to becoming a firearm.
And yet, we're still only 3 people in. So far, Heather has purchased and secured the base of our gun called the receiver. Next, Steve takes the receiver and makes sure the sight and barrel holes are exact. Then Chris cleans off the excess metal, prepping the gun and the barrel. The multi-talented Steve then takes both parts and puts them together. All right, boss. Want to give it a little visual inspection?
Yep. starting to look like a gun.
It really is.
Yep.
So where does it go from here?
You're headed over to Larry, and he's over there. And
Is there a new person?
yes, there is.
Finally, number 4.
Number 4.
Sir,
Larry, I'm Dave.
glad to know you, Dave.
Good to meet you. You're number 4.
I'm number 4.
What is your job?
Grab that hood up here. Watch me.
There we go.
Okay, you ready?
Hold on, 1 sec.
Okay.
Don't rush me, Larry.
Okay.
There we go. Fire away. Whoa. Okay. All right, so what have we done here?
What we're done is we tack that to the firing mechanism.
Larry has just finished welding the male bolt assembly that works the firing pin and is the key component of the firing mechanism. That's because the pin is the thing that hits the back of the bullet and sends it down the barrel. So without you, there's no gun.
Well,
Right, Larry?
yeah, right.
Yeah. Own it.
I'm the main part.
You're number 4.
Yes.
Who's number 5? Is there a number
Dan's
5?
number 5, and he's over there at the assembly tables.
Is there a Dan in the house? Looking for a Dan. Is that Dan? Hey. Dan, I'm Dave. Pleased to meet you. You know, you're number 5. So what are you doing here?
Well, some small parts assembly here for the trigger.
So this is the real precise stuff, right?
Yeah, it can get a little tedious, but
This is
it's
the-
small.
This is like the ship in the bottle part of it, right?
Yeah. It all has to fit together and do its part.
The smallest handgun you can buy measures 2.5 by 1.5 by 1/2 inches. It'll fit inside a paperclip box. Minimum cost is $6,500, or you can get it in 18-karat gold and spend up to $48,000. It fires the smallest ammunition available, a 2mm bullet, but it does it at a deadly velocity of 275 miles an hour. So this is the trigger assembly. Where does it go from here?
It's going in the grip.
Aha! Where do these grips come from?
Well, we have a local company that does the plastic injection molding for us. Ships them over, and then we're set.
Pop it in
Move
there.
on, yeah.
Among the many parts in the trigger assembly are Larry's firing mechanism and pin, the grip, the actual trigger itself, and the bolt assembly, which is what rams the firing pin into the back of the bullet.
It's the assembly.
There you
It's the
go.
extractor piece.
Does that conclude your job, number 5?
Pretty much.
All right, so who is number 6? Must be Todd, this guy who's been hanging out in your space also?
Yeah.
Oh, Todd. How you doing? I'm Dave. You are number 6. Up to this point, Larry's welded the firing mechanism, Dan's put together the trigger, and now Todd's gonna make it into a working gun.
I'm doing a couple of things here today. I'm going to put a magazine together
Okay.
and use that in final assembly to put the gun together for you.
What makes the Calico 9mm pistol unique is its 100-bullet magazine. This allows law enforcement and our soldiers to keep on shooting while the bad guys have to reload.
The function of this is to drive the bullets up the inside of the cartridge
Right.
here. It's a single helix.
Right.
So we want to make sure the bullets keep feeding in one direction.
Check that I've got it in place.
And now we have a magazine.
We have a magazine.
Now, how does it all come together as a gun, though?
Well, we can slide down here and I can show you the few final steps to put the rest of it together.
Terrific. Okay, so now we got all the elements.
Okay. Here we've got the barrel that we put in the receiver earlier today.
Right.
I've got to pop the bolt in. I have the cocking spring. Okay, I've got the cocking rod. All right, then I'll put this handle on.
Handle on. With all the parts at the ready, Todd goes into warp speed to finish building the Calico 100-round pistol. Click in place.
And you've got a 100-round 9mm Calico weapon.
All right, so where does it go from here?
We put it in this box.
Yep.
Chris is going to take it out to test fire it. We don't send a gun to the customer till Chris has handled it, operated it, knows that it works.
Right. The gun is assembled, but we're not finished yet. Now Chris and I are going to take them out to a firing range and make sure they work perfectly. So this is it, huh?
It's the gun you helped make today.
Factory fresh.
That's right.
Brand new gun.
Yep.
All right, now tell me why you test these guns. You've got plenty of stuff to do.
Sure. I put a lot of passion in making sure that this thing functions 100%. That it was safe and nothing would happen to some law enforcement guy. And I'd rather have it hurt me than hurt them. Yeah.
I like that. So what do we do?
And I'm gonna drop the bolt. We're gonna have a round in the chamber, and then we're gonna go live.
Okay. Like that. Whoa, okay. Man, that's a beautiful machine. Congrats to you and the 5 other people who involved in the making of that thing.
Thank you very much.
I gotta hit the road.
Get out of here.
All right. Wow, 6 people to make a 9mm pistol. Very tight-knit family making a very deadly weapon.